Have you noticed that everywhere you turn, or everyone that you know that is entrepreneurial at some capacity, is trying to figure out how to start an AI business, or they're trying to figure out how to monetize and capitalize in the AI space? A lot of people are calling this the AI gold rush. And maybe you don't even know what AI is, and maybe all your friends in your circle have no clue what's going on. And that's okay too. We're still in the early adopter stage. But one thing's for sure, in the AI space, there's going to be a lot of millionaires, billionaires, and Mark Cuban even predicted even trillionaires in the making. And this is something that's very serious because we've never seen something like this in our lifetime before. The CEO of Google actually said that AI is way more important than the discovery of fire, right? So this is very powerful stuff. Well, if you guys haven't been following me along yet, my name is Isabella Bedoya. I've been pretty active on LinkedIn for about almost 2 years now, sharing all my insights on AI, specifically around marketing and sales most of the time, and just all these different ways that we can use AI and automation in our day-to-day lives, whether it's at work, for personal stuff, for personal growth, personal development, productivity, or like I mentioned, using it for marketing and sales. And in this process, I've been not just sharing with people how to do it, I've also been innovating my own solutions as well. And as a matter of fact, back in like October 2023, I actually invested in my first AI voice license, which allowed me to be one of the first in the entire world, one of the first 100 agencies in the whole world that had the ability to sell and implement AI voice agents for businesses. If you have no idea what this means, it basically was a way to figure out how to replace the person that usually is answering the phone, a receptionist, an appointment setter, or whatever the case is, using AI. I'm going to share all my projects with you in a minute, but right now, all I wanted to share with you is the whole entire blueprint of how I plan to grow this into an $1 billion AI business portfolio. That might seem a little crazy. That might even seem a little delusional. It's probably, with good reason. It is a very big goal. But in this journey, I'm going to share with you pretty much the ups, the downs, the real authentic truth. And the whole purpose is to share the journey publicly so that if you're trying to grow your AI business as well, hopefully this can help. Or maybe you want to get involved in somehow, then that would be awesome as well. Now, why $1 billion and why is this, why does this sound normal? It might sound impossible in other industries, but the thing with AI is that everything moves really fast. And if you look at the trends, this is where all the companies are investing hundreds of millions, if not billions of dollars into. Sam Altman, the CEO of OpenAI, actually predicted that very soon we're going to start seeing teams of 10 people or less reaching billion-dollar valuations. There's AI companies that are launched and within 3 to 6 months have hit billion-dollar valuations. This is happening. It's happening now. It might not happen in 3 years. It might not happen in 2 years. But because this is what they call the AI gold rush, this is what people are trying to get involved in, and everyone's trying to figure out how to get their hands on this stuff. That's why I'm starting Billionaire Blueprint. Billionaire Blueprint is literally a deep dive into the how and the why behind every decision, every real-world insight as I continue going down this space. Some of you might know already, like I mentioned, you might have been following me on LinkedIn. Just to share with you a little stats. On LinkedIn, I grew to 41,000 followers. I generated 6 million organic impressions with zero ad spend. And in the last year, I launched a handful of AI offers, beta offers, just testing, proof of concept. And it generated about $300,000 in revenue. I've also made some amazing friends along the way. I'm sure you follow some of these people. As a result of sharing insights, I have also been mentioned in Forbes and HubSpot, among other publications. And I've also been called on to train teams such as the Atlanta Airport, such as Netafim, such as Sunwing Vacations, and a handful of others. So not only have I been posting content and sharing insights that I've been discovering and innovating from my journey, I've also been implementing this in real world businesses. Not just startups and mom and pops, but like real organizations. So this is why it's important. I'm not just waking up with a random idea. There is expertise behind what I share. Now, what I wanted to share with you is how I plan to do this. The way that the content is going to be distributed is through the newsletter and on YouTube and probably some snippets on LinkedIn. So if you really want to stay up to date, if you really want to follow along the journey, and if you really want to maximize, receiving everything I have to share, you're going to want to subscribe to the newsletter. Just go to billionaireblueprint.ai. You can subscribe. At the time of filming this video, it's free. I don't know if I'll monetize it later on, but for now, the plan is to just share freely. The vision for billionaireblueprint.ai is twofold. On one hand, if it can inspire and help others that are trying to achieve the same and are actually working day in and day out, growing their AI businesses, and if just one piece of content is helpful to them, then this whole entire newsletter will have served its purpose. On the other hand, it's also for exposure. So if you're a strategic partner, a talented innovator, maybe you're an investor, and you have a shared mission, then I would love to have you join me along the way. Just go ahead and reach out to me. There's my emails towards the bottom. I really have always believed that alone you can go far, but together we can go further. So this isn't just a me thing. This is a community thing. I'm just sharing insights on how I'm dealing with business strategies, questions, challenges, just the day-to-day stuff. But it's being built in a way that there's a community behind me. There's a community that supports, there's a community that has insights, that has their own opinions, that has their own suggestions. And for that, this is also the mission, is to strengthen that. In today's newsletter, the first of its kind, I'm going to break down my $1 billion vision of how I plan to grow an AI business portfolio. I'm going to share with you some strategies that I intend to implement or have already been implementing. I'm going to share with you the 5 key phases that I want to launch this in. And I'm going to share with you why now is the perfect time rather than in the next 3 to 5 years. So without further ado, the $1 billion AI empire blueprint. The way that this is going to happen is happening in phases starting from bottom to top. Education and consulting, SaaS, implementation, licensing, and mergers and acquisitions. Each step allows us to build the next step even stronger. We have to have a solid foundation. That's why education and consulting comes first. If you don't know how to use AI, then it's going to be very hard to implement AI. And not just using AI, but if you don't know how to integrate AI into your whole operations, if it's even necessary. Sometimes just because you can doesn't mean you should. So this is why consulting and education comes first. You need to understand how AI can actually impact your business. Not only that, but this is also the lower barrier to entry. With everything else, with SaaS, for example, you have to develop some tools. With implementation, you probably have to build a team, right? But consulting and education, this is the lowest barrier of entry. Because whatever you learn, you can turn around and teach someone else. Whatever you learn, you can share with others online. And you can build a personal brand. You can build content. Now, of course, when you're learning, having real-world experience really makes a difference, which is why consulting it goes hand in hand. You can't just teach someone without trying it. Otherwise, it's theoretical. But if you teach someone something that you've consulted others and have measured results on that, now you have a way better educational platform where you're having tested and proven theories, strategies, thought processes. So by launching the education and consulting first, it helped me establish authority. It helped me establish credibility. It helped me unlock a lot of connections and meet a lot of people that I probably wouldn't have access to before. And it allowed me to have a different insight than the rest of the world on how businesses and how decision makers are integrating AI into their strategy. What are they looking for? What are their objections? And how can we overcome those? In a way, of course, that's going to be beneficial for the business. Then you have phase 2, which is software as a service. When it comes to SaaS, you do need to have, to create the SaaS. Now, I know there's no-code, low-code solutions now, but in order to have a SaaS, you need to have some fundamentals already in place. And the biggest thing that I can recommend if you're going to start a SaaS is to start a micro SaaS. A micro SaaS, it just focuses on solving one problem rather than having a whole suite of problems. So in 2023, I launched a couple software with a service offers. I was just trying to test things out. I was trying to see what would make the most sense, what was actually the most beneficial for clients, what was going to be the things that I also enjoyed doing and helping people with. Some of those offers included white labeling a popular CRM and including that as a part of my offer so that I could do the fulfillment, do the offer of building out, whether it's a funnel or whatever, while maintaining them on a software subscription. So it was great for two reasons. One, it was creating that recurring revenue from the software. Even after we were done working together, the software subscription kept coming in. And on the other side, it really allowed me to be hands-on with business owners, not just me, but my team as well. It allowed us to be hands-on with business owners to figure out what parts were they struggling the most when it came to using these software tools. So the biggest thing that I learned is you got to keep it simple, right? And as fundamental and basic as that sounds, you really have to keep it simple. The less buttons for someone to click to get a result, the better. And that is a lot harder said than done. So the reason why SaaS comes second is because of that. It's something that I've already had in motion. I'm actually gearing up to launch another SaaS product in November. Stay tuned. You're going to hear a little bit more about that. But this is something that I've just been launching across multiple offers, implementing SaaS to make it sticky, to build that monthly recurring revenue. SaaS, at the end of the day, software as a service, that's what allows you to do it. It allows you to build recurring revenue every single month, so it helps you, your growth to compound. It helps you have that predictability within your business. And if you are planning on getting in the AI space and selling SaaS solutions, just be prepared for the development costs and then be prepared for how you're going to ROI back on that, especially if you're selling SaaS. Most of SaaS nowadays, when you're buying subscriptions, you're looking at anywhere from like $9 a month to like a couple $100 a month. And then you have businesses that deal SaaS with enterprise, and that can get a little bit more complicated in the sales process. So it's not impossible. One of our businesses actually has a $2,000 a month SaaS subscription, so it's not impossible. It's just a little trickier. So anyways, that is the second phase. Now the third phase is AI implementation. So once we have consulting out of the way, we have the SaaS going, then the AI implementation is the most important in my opinion. And it's also the most time consuming. So when you're doing AI implementation, you're actually going into the businesses, and you're actually solving real world problems. When you're just delivering a SaaS, it's like, here's your subscription, here's your customer service. Let me know if you need help with anything. And a lot of the times, it's just SaaS, they don't really have a lot of access to the people, like the founders and the CEOs and stuff like that, right? So that's the difference with SaaS and AI implementation. It's now you actually have A players in your business running the SaaS tools, running the strategies, running the playbooks, running the tactics. Now, this is something that we've been calling AI growth partners. And the AI growth partners is essentially coming into your business, looking at the whole holistic picture, figuring out what problems we can solve, what are the lowest hanging fruit, how can we generate revenue and ROI as quickly as possible so we can continue building with that new revenue coming in, and how can we actually partner up with businesses on a long-term basis, not just 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, but we're looking at annual contracts in this scenario. And now in this scenario, we're looking at annual contracts also on two things, at least 6-figure commitments over the year, and also revenue share. And the reason why is because now you have A players doing the tasks, doing these strategic moves in order to grow the business, and the revenue share is just to keep whether it's me or my partners that are also doing growth partners, to keep us incentivized into working on that product. So it holds both parties accountable. It holds the growth partner accountable, and it holds the business owner accountable. And that's the beautiful thing about this thing, the AI growth partners. You don't have to scale through clients, you scale through revenue. So you partner up with a handful of really solid businesses, no more than 10 a year. And you just go all in and you help them grow, and then you scale through revenue. You train up really, really good A players as well to help you with fulfillment, and you just run some of these playbooks. Some of the things that we've been helping businesses with on this model, and this model is newer. We've been experimenting with this and launching this in phases probably for the last couple months. But some of the things that we've already been experimenting is helping other people do boot camps. Boot camps have been very profitable for us. We're helping other people do their own AI boot camps, and we're building out the funnels. We're doing the whole thing. All they do is they just show up, share their expertise. If they want to create their own slides, that's great. We can help with the slides as well. And then we help them with everything along the way. Another thing has been creating an entire automated customer journey sequence by using our automated funnel builder. And this is something that I developed back in October of probably before October, maybe like September, fall of last year, fall of 2023. I developed this whole entire automation where you could just have your entire customer journey pretty much built out super fast within 2 days max. And that's being generous. We actually had a client that did it in 6 hours, their entire customer journey, 3 funnels, the whole thing. Normally this would take a couple weeks to a month, maybe a couple months to automate your whole entire customer journey, but we figured out how to do it very fast. We figured out how to use custom GPTs, we figured out how to use automation, and then it just requires one human to kind of make sure that everything looks good, do some final tweaks and touch-ups. Really good. Really powerful stuff. Another way that we've been helping businesses is helping them create their own custom GPTs. What this does is enables us to help them make their businesses more efficient. As you know, businesses are always changing. They're always growing. The information is always being updated. When you help a business have their own custom GPT, they can now actually have a very solid database. Pretty much think of it as a chatbot for your business, where if you ever need anything, instead of having to go to your manager, to your business owner, or whatever, you have all the information that you need, and it's powered by AI. It's powered by OpenAI, right? And it's powered by OpenAI and allows you to ask a question that's going to answer based on the information it's been trained on, but also provide any additional feedback that might be helpful. Custom GPTs help you enhance efficiency, help you enhance productivity, and it definitely helps you automate a lot of the mundane, repetitive tasks that you normally would do, using your own strategies that you currently have trained your team members to do. That is the beautiful thing about custom GPTs. And then lastly, the other thing that we've been implementing into businesses and helping businesses use has been the AI sales employees. The AI sales employees is where we build, train, and deploy AI sales employees to manage the entire sales cycle from end to end. So think about it from like lead generation to speed to lead to database reactivation to booking only qualified appointments, or whatever the case might be. We have figured out ways to integrate AI voice with AI texting and a couple other workflows and automations to ensure that you can have an AI sales employee that sounds like a human but performs without one. And this is what enables businesses to scale through sales effectively. So these are some of the strategies that we've been using with businesses as we were testing out to launch this whole AI growth partner side of the business. But this is also something that is another way and another strategy to really monetize and bring in way more revenue to the business as well. Now, phase 4. This is where it comes down to IP and licensing. The more that we grow, the more that we're going to be implementing or licensing our IP, our solutions, whatever it is. Right now, as a matter of fact, we have licensed our entire AI voice agency infrastructure to at least 20 different agencies worldwide. And these people, these agency owners, are now able to sell and resell and utilize for their business as well our AI sales employee solution. And this is the same solution that we offer under Infinite AI. I was just sharing with you how we automate the sales process. We have partnered with 20 agencies and we have licensed our entire infrastructure, the IP, the tools. They get to utilize everything from us. And they get to now have an AI voice agency literally at a fraction of the cost. That's one thing. But secondly, we actually help them grow. And one of the things that we do special for our AI voice agency partners is we actually offer white label fulfillment. So when they bring on new clients and they're trying to implement this entire infrastructure into their clients' businesses, now they have our team doing it as well. So, and as we continue to grow, IP and licensing is going to continue growing. It's not just going to be for the AI voice agency. There's multiple different strategies and a lot of intellectual property that we've been developing over the last year, maybe year and a half, on how to use AI in multiple parts of the business. So these are just some ideas. Lastly, we have phase 5. Phase 5 is when we get in the M&A space. So mergers and acquisitions is probably the most exciting part of all. But now this is when you now put rocket fuel on the portfolio. So now you have, your consulting, you have your courses and stuff like that. You have your SaaS products. You're doing fulfillment. You're doing implementation services. You're licensing your IP and stuff like that. And then lastly, you're acquiring businesses and you're merging businesses. So I have not launched this stage yet. The only merger really that we had was when I merged my AI voice agency with someone else. You guys might have heard me talk about Chase Fowler. So that's when we launched Infinite AI. We merged both businesses. But other than that, this is probably the least developed so far. The M&A phase. The other phases are already in motion, and it's not just me. We have a couple people on the team. And I also have a couple different partners that are helping me launch and oversee some sides of the business. For example, on the SaaS side, like I mentioned, we have a SaaS coming out. So stay tuned. I'm really excited to share a little bit more about what that is going to look like. We have a couple of SaaS in motion. It's been under development for quite a while now. So we're really excited. We're going to be launching some SaaS tools very soon, a little bit more. But I'm really excited about that. And anyways, that is the 5 phases that we essentially plan to grow this $1 billion AI portfolio. And like I mentioned, education, really the consulting is for authority and insights. The SaaS to create that revenue, that recurring revenue. Implementation to increase not just the success of clients, but also increase the constant R&D as you're constantly solving problems for businesses. You're staying in the trenches. And it's not just me, but it's someone on our team, right? Our A players are staying in the trenches and constantly discovering way better ways, way better strategies. Everything's very cutting edge. Licensing to continue to expand the reach and the impact that we have in the space. And M&A to accelerate the overall growth of the portfolio. So, just some final thoughts here. And before I get into that, if you happen to be a strategic partner, talented, visionary, or innovator, or investor, and you share the same vision, and what I just shared with you resonates, I'd love to connect with you. Shoot me a message. I'd love to see how we could potentially partner up and work together on building this empire. This is not something that's going to be over in the next year. This is a long-term project. So if you share the vision, you want to be, lock arms and be a part of it, send me a message. Let's talk about it. Now, lastly, to kind of wrap things up, some final thoughts here. The more that I continue investing time into AI, the more I continue to see there's 2 types of people. The first type of people that think that AI is going to replace their jobs, is going to completely destroy the economy, and it's just going to a huge nightmare. Those people also think that what we've seen with iRobot and all these other robot movies is going to become a reality. I'm not discarding that is a potential risk, but I am really emphasizing that the way that I see it is we have 2 opportunities right now, or 2 choices. We either choose to complain about it and stand on the sidelines and complain about how it's going to destroy the world, etc., or we accept the fact that it's already here, and we figure out how to stay on the forefront of it, and we figure out how to implement it into the world in a way that actually makes sense and creates positive change. We're early adopters right now. We get to steer the wheel. We get to be behind the driving wheel and create our own processes and share with the world how we do certain things. We get to define how we implement AI into businesses. And we get to define what are the positive ways to do this. We get to create all those guidelines because it doesn't exist. That's the coolest thing about this industry. A lot of it just doesn't exist. A lot of it we're creating together. So we can either choose to stand on the sidelines and just complain that AI is going to absolutely destroy the world, or do something about it. Stay on the forefront, steer the wheel, steer the steering wheel, and create this in a way that actually will create a positive impact. The other thing is that I also like to share is that I don't necessarily think that it's going to replace jobs entirely. It might make some functions of your jobs obsolete, but it actually gives you a better opportunity to do the strategic and the meaningful parts of your job, the parts that you can't delegate to AI, the parts that make you human, that builds connections with other people. And that's one of the coolest things I think also about AI. It's not just about how much it can displace people, but it's how much we can coexist and co-work with AI so it can do all the things we don't really like to do anyway. And we can free up our minds from all of that and focus, instead of 80% of the time focusing on, I gotta do this, I gotta do that, I gotta post on here, and I gotta edit a video, and I gotta write a business plan, I gotta do this. What if we just table all of that and focus only on the strategic tasks? That is what's going to make humans even more powerful than just delegating all of that to an AI. I'm not saying that the AI is not smart. It is very smart. But anyways, that's just my 2 cents on this. So if you happen to be in this space, if you'd like to connect, if you have a similar journey, or if you just want to be friends, send me a message. This is what I'm working on, and subscribe if you want to stay tuned. I dropped some links here. BillionaireBlueprint.ai. This is where you can subscribe to the newsletter. In this newsletter, I'm going to try to keep it a weekly cadence, where I actually share with you essentially all my findings around AI, like what I'm learning, what I'm implementing, and all the growth, mistakes, lessons. Very authentic. YouTube, I'm going to share a video version of it. And then LinkedIn, and also on YouTube, I'm going to share way more content, so definitely make sure that you subscribe on YouTube. And then on LinkedIn, as you guys already know, I already post a lot on LinkedIn, so feel free to join me on LinkedIn. The whole purpose of this is just to help you and bring you along the journey, and also help you with implementing AI into your day-to-day life. Let's stay ahead of this trend. Let's not sit back. Let's stay ahead of the trend. Let's make a difference. Join the journey. Thanks for watching this. See you in the next video.